Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net and shareholder in Helios and Matheson. Who cares? They're going bankrupt soon. I mean, that's probably not going to last much longer. So, anyway, this special Saturday video, although you're probably watching this on Sunday or Monday, is being made because MoviePass just had a really crappy week. A really crappy week. And I've made videos reporting on them. But the big story was that on Thursday night, the app was glitching up with the exception of e-ticketed theaters because the cards wouldn't work. And the reason the cards wouldn't work was because MoviePass didn't pay the card processing companies and needed to take out an emergency loan of $5 million to pay the creditors and turn the service back on. Now, I made a live stream video, which I was going to completely remake, but we're not going to do that anymore, and you're going to see why. I'll leave the other video up for just for the heck of it. But as I stated in that video, this doesn't necessarily mean MoviePass is completely out of money because from my perspective, there's no reason to turn the service back on if you don't have the money to pay for the tickets anyway. That said, it shows either very, very bad money management or it's a very big sign that the cash is running low and MoviePass is definitely on the way out. But, of course, MoviePass, for the most part, was not up for comment, but apparently they have addressed us. And we're going to look at the statement from CEO Mitch Lowe. And I'm not going to say I'm completely going to agree with everything he says, and we will even point out where I'm having some disagreements and where I'm still a little shaky, but we're going to look at the statement. So let's just look at it with with a critical but unbiased eye. So it says, to our subscribers, first, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused from the temporary outage in the app over the past day. We have handled the issues on the back end and our app is now up and running with stability at 100%. We thank you for your patience and your ongoing support. Now you see, this opening paragraph is what bothers a lot of people. Well, one of the things, but a lot of people I'm sure will be saying, well, it wasn't a temporary outage in the sense that it wasn't working. You didn't have money to pay the service, so it wasn't on, but that's still a technical outage, even if it's temporary. So he's not lying. He's not letting you know it's because of money problems, and by the way, you're not going to hear that at all in this statement, just to give you a heads up. CEOs don't go on TV usually saying that they're about to go bankrupt. They're going to still put as positive of a spin on it as possible. That's one of their jobs. Continuing. This month, we introduced demand-based pricing to MoviePass. The first of these features, peak pricing, has rolled out nationally. Bring a guest and premium features, i.e. upgrades, IMAX, 2D and 3D, RealD, and more. I like the and more. That's probably Fathom Events. Will begin rolling out soon. So at the moment, from what he's saying, they still plan to bring them out. Will they survive that long to get to the point where they're rolled out? It's anyone's guess at this point. We will continue to refine peak pricing and adjust the algorithm to take into account a lot of the feedback we received in the past couple of weeks. And we thank you for your patience as we continue to evolve MoviePass into the best low-cost option in entertainment. Together we are reviving moviegoing and everything that goes along with it. So let's talk about the algorithm, because people have asked me and they've asked MoviePass, how does the algorithm work? They're showing pictures of like they got charged a peak pricing surcharge, but when they get into the theater, they are showing like 1, 2, 3 people. Sometimes there's no people in there, and it's like, why the heck did I pay a surcharge for this? And the answer is not necessarily one we like, but it's just the reality. Until the movie theaters start partnering with MoviePass, if they ever get to that point, everything has to be an if at this point. There's really no way to know what theaters are going to be peaked and what's not. MoviePass doesn't have access to the movie's ticketing systems. You know, they have if MoviePhone buys tickets, maybe they have a little bit of a hint there, but otherwise they don't know. And all they can go by is how popular the movie is. Now, I think MoviePass might be taking the data, and they might, at this point, price the peak pricing depending on city. They'll do the best they can. Maybe if they have gotten consistent complaints from certain cities and states, then maybe they will change the algorithm to take that into account when the algorithm turns up. But for the time being, I think they're basically basing it on what's in the top five. Like if your movie's in the top five or top 10, you're going to get peak priced. And it doesn't matter how busy the theater is because that's the only information they have to go on. It really is. Now, what's also interesting about this statement that we need to look at is you notice how he didn't say the best movie theater experience. He said, what was it? The best low cost option in entertainment. That suggests two things. First of all, they're definitely going to be changing their strategy from a movie a day. It's going to be a low cost option subscription card, kind of like Costco and kind of like Amazon Prime. That's always the better example. You know, some movies you'll see, you don't have to pay anything. Some movies you'll have to pay a peak price, but it's going to be low cost. It also kind of gives them some wiggle room that maybe they could start adding other events in there that they can start covering. I don't know. But it's apparent from this statement, MoviePass is no longer a ticket a day service. They are officially moving away from that. It is now a low entertainment cost item. So there you go. As we've shared with you before, rather than raise the price of the subscription, we've decided to enable all of you to have a choice between high value, ability to see up to one movie a day at a low cost $9.95 versus the flexibility to see whichever movie you want, whenever and wherever and whenever you want to see it. In other words, you can choose to see a movie in high demand on opening weekend for a small additional surcharge, or wait to see a popular movie a bit later in its theatrical run at no additional cost. Now, again, they're technically true with how they're going through money that something has to change. And I think there's going to be at least a couple more changes coming, and we'll talk about that at the end. But it is true. People keep saying, well, AMC is a better deal because they're not doing the peak pricing, and I can see 3D and IMAX. They're also limited to AMC. Again, some people don't have AMCs. And what if your movie's not showing at AMC? Well, there you have it. I mean, it's interesting the two types of comments I get on this. Either people are totally for AMC, and I suspect they're in New York or Los Angeles or a city where there's a lot of AMCs, or AMC sounds like a good deal, but because they can't have it, MoviePass is definitely the next best thing. And for people who say it's definitely the next best thing, well, I sense they either don't have any AMCs or they've been so burnt by their AMCs that they just don't want to go there even if it's a good deal. So, yeah. I mean, I guess it's still... I have to say, a card where you can go anywhere, whether you have peak pricing or not, still holds a lot of value for people who want flexibility. So, just saying. As we continue to evolve the service, certain movies may not always be available in every theater on our platform. Now, this is where it's going to get important. We'll definitely talk about this. This is no different than other in-home streaming options that often don't carry the latest shows or movies that may be available on other services. For example, you can't ever find Game of Thrones on Netflix, nor season 4 of Schitt's Creek available there yet. Which I wish he'd use the Amazon analogy, but okay, that's going to work, I guess. Here at MoviePass, we have strived to make every movie in theaters available to you as part of your subscription, and peak pricing has allowed and will continue to allow us to do so, and that is all true. Peak pricing will allow them to do that, especially, here's the thing, if they can survive another month, and I don't know if they're going to do it, but if they can survive another month and we can get to the months where the usage is going to be a lot lower, because how many people are really interested in seeing The Meg, of all things, or that dog movie, or maybe Goosebumps too, I don't know, but yeah, yeah, they can slow down the losses, and the peak pricing will help with that. Now then, here's the real thing. As we continue to assert the service, certain movies may not always be available in every theater or platform. Now that is definitely them putting their hands in the air and saying so subtly, I'm sorry guys, we just can't pay for Mission Impossible 6. We can't do it. And I don't blame them. And I think this is a change that's probably going to be more permanent and more widespread should MoviePass survive. There might be certain major movies, like the major movies that they just know every single user is going to use. That unless you're a partner theater, they're just going to say, nope, can't do it. We just can't do it. because I noticed that Teen Titans Go to the Movies was not blocked out on my MoviePass. I used my AMC card to see it, but I could have seen it on MoviePass, and Mamma Mia wasn't blocked out. So there's still a fair amount of new releases, but Mission Impossible 6, where they're predicting a $150 million opening weekend, if every person went to see Mission Impossible 6 this weekend, and let's just assume that we're just going to round it down to a flat $10 per ticket, because I know they're going to charge like the $6, peak price for that, but let's just assume the peak price was like $5. The average ticket's $15, so it's $10. Okay, whatever. They're going to lose they have to spend $30 million that weekend. MoviePass is so not in the position to do that right now. I know what a lot of people are going to say. Well, once you start restricting movies, it's useless to me. You know what? We can have the argument. I argue, hey, it won't kill you to wait a week or two to watch a certain movie, but they're going to have to start doing this, and they might have to be more upfront about this. They might even have to put in a restriction that says if the movie is in its first 2 weeks, you just can't see it at all. Now, that said, they could also put in an extra surcharge if they want, where it's like, but for another $20, you can see the movie whenever you want, whether it's first week or not, and you can even waive 3 peak prices a month. If they want to start charging people $30 a month for the privilege of seeing the movies brand new and waiving 3 peak prices, that might be a good way to encourage people to upgrade. Again, I know not a lot of people want to sign up for this thing right now because they're afraid it's not going to last, but I will at least briefly address, well, guys, you can sign up for it, and if it doesn't last, well, it's $10, really. What's it to you? But I think there's going to be some more changes coming, and we're unfortunately just going to have to deal with that. Let's see here. Some of the feedback we've received from you about peak pricing is that more of you are using e-ticketing in our app. Okay, this is where I'm going to ram into them a little bit. When you go to a MoviePass e-ticketing theater, you are helping theaters who are actively working with us to ensure that MoviePass remains the best low-cost option. Okay. I'm going to pause for a second there because I need to address that, because that is total bull and yet total truth at the same time. If you do go to an e-ticketing theater, you are helping MoviePass. They have partnered with MoviePass and they help them out financially. So if there are those theaters near you, please use your MoviePass there. But as for people preferring e-ticketing, that might be true, but there's not nearly as much around there. Heck, I live in the LA area, and there's like 6 theaters out of 50 that use it. And I go to Sacramento, there's one. Just one. And you got to drive a little while to get to there. So, I don't think people prefer that in the sense that more people are using it like they're trying to imply. I don't think that's true. I think they'd like to use it more, but that's just not going to happen, not until more people partner with them. But it is true that when you see it at a partnered theater, it does help them out a little bit. So, that's kind of a slightly dishonest spin on the whole thing, and I'm not going to let them off the hook for that one. Okay. Peak pricing has also begun driving traffic to weekdays and off-peak hours, which is vital to the entertainment ecosystem and to the health of theaters across the country. This is actually true. It's actually true. I know a lot of you are probably scoffing like, well, I don't have time to go to the weekdays. Well, yeah, that's exactly why that's important for the theaters. Why do you think they have the Discount Tuesday? Why do you think Thursday nights it's like you get 10% off they have $1 hot dogs that night? They do things to get people into the weekdays because they don't need to push you to go to the weekends. They need to go to the weekdays. And peak pricing does drive people to those less busy times, and they do make the theaters more money. They just do. So that's definitely something that they have the right to highlight, and they should be highlighting that when they start courting other theaters to, sign up for them. And, of course, the fact that they will drop the peak pricing for the theaters if they partner with them. Let's see here. Similarly, we are hearing loud and clear from studio and independent distributor partners who support the MoviePass model that our app placements are driving more of you to enjoy their films over others in the marketplace. And that is true. And one of the things that I've wondered that I wasn't thinking about when I did my earlier live stream about possible outcomes The independent theaters, or not theaters, the independent movie studios could band together, buy and send some money MoviePass's way, because MoviePass has turned certain independent films into hits that otherwise would not have been hits. They helped to make American Animals a hit. They helped to make Three Identical Strangers a hit. Won't You Be My Neighbor, the Mr. Rogers documentary, was massively popular with MoviePass members. And so was the RBG. So, yeah, that's the case. And if all the independent studios got together, they could probably inject them with $200 million and keep them going through at least the rest of the year, which would be important for them because the end of the year is where their movies are going to be front and center for the Oscar glory, and they're definitely going to want MoviePass there to get the audience to watch them, not just the critics. We share all of this with you as we believe in explaining to you, our customer, why we are doing what we are doing. They're still leaving out some key information, but oh well, that's what you got me here for, right? Anyway, we ask for your understanding and vocal support during this time as we continue to fundamentally change an industry that hasn't evolved much in years. Very true. In fact, ticket prices have risen so much that it's now simply too expensive for many of us to go to the movies. And I want to point out, all you people who hope MoviePass will die, it's going to go back to being that expensive if they do. You don't have an AMC near you, you are screwed. So screwed. Heck, if MoviePass goes away and AMC says, well, mission accomplished, we killed off MoviePass, let's end our subscription service, you're screwed. There's no guarantee that AMC is going to stick around. In fact, I kind of suspect that AMC smelt blood in the water. Someone asked another YouTuber, and I'm not going to name his name because I don't want to make it look like I'm picking on a fight with him all the time. You could probably figure out who it is, though. And someone asked him, do you think they introduce this option to kill MoviePass, AMC that is, and do you think they will discontinue it when MoviePass goes under? And he said, no, I don't think that's the case, because MoviePass was already on their way out, and I think they just saw what a great deal it was. No, that's actually a pretty good suspicion. You don't go from hating this company, hating this business model, really, for 5 years, and all of a sudden you wake up. No, I think they introduced it to kill MoviePass, and once MoviePass is gone, I'm very, very skeptical that they're going to keep it going. So it's just a warning. So MoviePass' mission is to make moviegoing accessible to everyone and to enhance the power of discovery, but we need your support as we refine our model for the long haul. Can't find the movie you want to see in the app? Go to Twitter and let the studio behind it know. Want more e-ticketing theater options in your area so that movies you want to see peak less? Let your theater know you want them to partner with MoviePass. We're MoviePass, and because of you, we are more than 3 million strong, Mitch Lowe. So that's a pretty optimistic letter on a pretty grim day. And you know what? MoviePass has had pretty grim days before, so they might pull through. They might. Not looking very likely. And I've kind of been, I have to be honest, as someone who really loves the service, as someone who has had it for years, I kind of went through most of the day in mourning. Kind of hard to focus on work, writing articles with it in the back of my mind, just thinking to myself, man, I am really going to miss this service. So I've kind of already accepted that it might die. But maybe they'll survive, who knows? And you know what? Yeah, if you want to support MoviePass, and, here's some ways you can do that. First of all, obviously don't cancel your subscription. And there's no reason to. If you've already used a movie this month and you have, before the next billing, just keep MoviePass. If it doesn't survive by the time you see your next movie, it costs you $10. That's the first way. Don't cancel. Second, yes, go to your theaters and say you want them to partner with MoviePass. In fact, write them letters and send the letters to CEOs, the managers, send it to the Twitters, and say that you make it a point to go out of your way to go to these theaters because they are partnered with MoviePass, thus they don't peak price, and you can get reserved seatings. Point that out. And send it specifically to the independent theaters and mom and pop theaters that do not plan to have a subscription service, or to the Alamo Drafthouse, because I think they need a little bit of a wake-up call. Let them know these things. And, and for at least a little while, maybe don't see movies you really have no interest in seeing. And I know that seems to be to defeat the purpose, but like if you are watching something that you truly have no interest in seeing, I'm not talking about movies that you're curious about and you normally wouldn't see it, but since you have MoviePass, you'll see it. That's fine. But like Show Dogs, I think it was this year that came out this year. Or if you have no interest in seeing Teen Titans go to the movies, don't see it just because it's not going to cost me anything. And then there's like some people in the comments. One jerk actually said that he lived near an AMC that was super expensive, and he was going to go every single day, buy a ticket, not use it, and just help try to bleed MoviePass dry. Obviously, don't do that. And in fact, if I knew that guy's name, I'd send his information to MoviePass so that he could get deactivated. But you know what? There's ways you can do it that won't cost you any money except for keeping your subscription. Which, let's face it, I know it's a bad day. We're all feeling it. We all know that bankruptcy is probably coming. I'm under the suspicion that someone will probably buy MoviePass because those 3 million customers are very valuable. Maybe someone who wants the data. I don't know. But it might work out. Might work out. They haven't filed for bankruptcy yet, and even if they do, that gives them a few more months to restructure, and then if they can't restructure, then they're going under. So you still got them for a little while. Again, very depressing day, but the fat lady hasn't sung. She's starting to feel like she's going to sing, but she hasn't sung yet. Anyway, what do you think? I know you've got a lot of opinions on this, so oh, and my battery's almost dead, so yeah, we need to wrap this up soon anyway, so comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy these videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as a little $1 a day goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.